talk today. If I can share.
Yeah, I'm back, guys. Sorry, I had some technical issue. عدوش شير مقرت خليها هزوله. Okay, nice.
Yes.
Yeah, nice. That's great. Sorry.
Don't worry. إيه رأيكم لو يقولوا لكم؟ Okay. Okay. So أنا هذي حدش نجار كوكم أخوني. But the whole idea كم تسخطكم سمعكم when we were like in project 3 or the first project in root cause analysis. It was like kind of question in our mind. Professor Antutfoto, he's committed. He has a multidimensional understanding of the subject matter. And so more of mechanical engineering, industrial engineering was like the way we talk in class most of the time. But in terms of civil engineering, of course, we talk about concrete, we talk about cement, we talk about the strengths of materials, whatever stuff. Not as such a detail, how we can really apply root cause analysis in civil engineering activities level بزح يحطوا لنا after من قدنا زواع نيربو ثم كانت تيمات they were perfect, I can say. Even Kahsu can give a compliment for that. كم زي preliminary review كنقدر كلنا وعلو تعيدي أنا ولا صبغنا هاللوجن the way time out to root cause analysis in terms of quality engineering, time out to you. How do we maintain like the quality of service by really investigating the root causes of an industry or a kind of activity or a project, whatever. نشتي question يفتر لنا يروم على تينا. So شعور سرحنا يو دحريو understanding لنا نشتي برود كوين خون خال because you're gonna be have like the حارة module lean engineering كتاعته كلهم more of you'll understand more about root cause تاعي implication of lean engineering of sigma lean and sigma engineering applied كبر كله have industry based كنا projectات to root cause analysis مقارقة way ديمايك لبهال define improve apply analyze لبهال نقرأت apply كتور كلهم الحارة نشي عند لغنا understanding كم لوسخ نجار كله still in industry based but you can also think about from the box to أمريت له نجارات لا understand كلهم ده حسب مود data of design فيمي على بهالوي design failure mode in defect analysis أكابتاتو كلهم and again فيمي على بهال process failure mode in defect analysis كتاتو كلهم نجانا what does mean root cause analysis هاي مالتيو تايو contribute تجبروا لو نجار له خطر بريهم مالتي apart from that when you talk about root cause analysis more of in civil engineering activities نوريو yeah from construction material ناتهم construction material quality maintain عم مقبار أقول لنا فلتت زي مثالي condominium construct جبر لتقوينس so the condominium has different inputs coming from different like concrete خلق cement خلق bread خلق whatever نازيون quality مسرحنا يو لقونا fail انتجرو أو مجمرة why it is fail جانا قد من مسرحه fail خجورو الخل anticipate كنجبر الخل that's in the production of that material and later when we do that material in construction apply خنجورو خلنا after process مساعتنا قاع تاخجات مخل كمان ولا failure خجات مخل لو نجارون ريلو مالتيو so focusing on the product aspect of that materials that we use for construction really the impact of root cause analysis will be very important. Kali, when you try to think about dam construction, hydraulic design, hydraulic structures, failure is really kind of the more insightful event to humanity. Let's say if you have a dam fails basically. Why it fails? The dam. So different failure modes of dam could be sliding, could be overturning, could be cracking, a lot of dam failures. So those are really investigated in the way of root cause analysis. So you go to investigate that you will understand what is the occurrence of this kind of failure. You will understand what are the kind of how much we detected this in a certain period of time, how severe it is. እዚኦም ብሙሉኦም እንደገና ሚክስ ክትገብሩ ከለኹም occurrence severity detection capability ብኩሉ ክትሪኡ ከለኹም እንደገና you will talk about really the failure mode and defect analysis detect ተውግዑ ኢኹም ማለት እዩ. So it's just broad implication or root cause analysis. So ab civil engineering ብዙሕ ግዜ after construction ab hydraulic structure dams diversions ምናምን ክስርሕ ከሎ ኣብኡ ከጋጥሙ ዝኽእሉ ፌለራት investigate ንገብረሉ mechanism እዩ ማለት እዩ. So for us was I don't know لأخذكم تهاوكم يفلتي and I would like to say also at any time stop بيكم كتحطون لا تقولكم when you have any question no problem like ريكم خليو زين just هذا سك ناجرك no problem like interrupt تتجاوبنا تجمع لي أنا so لأنا بتهاونا not project title road cracking engineer. So how do we do root cause analysis when a road is cracking? level you تقدر نحن نصرحه لفتنا شو مالتي أو كم حسب كلنا قرر لنا بده نقدر سلنا مرة and it needs also investigate تقدر تكون root cause analysis تقدر تكون كاس لهذا project at some point you need to have that data كله كانيو لقونا data على فلت نقدر وي happen لقونا event كونيو at some point so measurable لقونا data كله هو يجيب أي مالتي. By default when road is constructed we need a lot of data for road construction basically. So when we miss out of the quality specification of NAZOM set of activities our road construction to come along منجد داتا ندحول لقونا miss جيرنا خوينا we really out of control لقونا نقرات implement جيرنا ندحول خوينا failure happen مخاني تعرفي then that's we are going to root cause analysis كنجاورو للخل road construction بوتاتي خمسة مانتي because the road needs like construction material كدليو يو machinery كدليو يو needs really climatic data analysis needs about soil subgrade grade base grade whatever those analysis bitumen socio-economic aspect traffic ፍሰቱ ዝኩሉ صناعات تغيرو ዲዛይን ስለዝግበር ዘን ኣብ ስራሕ መስዓተወ ፀገም ክፈጠር ይኽእል ኣብ road construction ማለት እዩ. so ለኣና ልተዋወና ብሓፂሩ ኣብ road why road crack happen just investigate the root cause of road cracking ይሉ ነይሩ ናትኩም ከምኡ ተነይሩ I'm not sure ከምኡ ድዩ assignmentኩም ሓቀይ
no it's about bridge crack
okay cool bridge okay so it becomes narrow like la bridge at home we were talking about bridge to rodem no قعنيرنا نحنا ማለት بخلي زرر so it was kind of mixed just our focus was more of to road engineer so when ندحب bridge ኮይናትኩም more of so concentration كم after bridge يكون له ማለት እዩ bridge construct ግበር ለሊዋ input material ለው ካበይ ይመጹ ከመይ quality controlም quality assuranceም ከመይ maintain ይግበር ታይ data ይወሰድ ታይ analyze ይግበር all including hydrologic data ለምሳሌ ሩዋ ተኮን ዝብሪጅ ዚ ወይ ከልበርታት اليوم ወይ kind of big bridge at اليوم where flow له انت كذا basin ወይ لሆነ ነገር له so you will talk about you will also concerned about the hydrology of that area how it can influence him in terms of the bridge failure. So ours was like asphalt or road construct road crack failure. So what tried to see left to 8D principle so 8D is like it is the method of solving the problem of or identify just solving root cause analysis of a specific activity or specific project you 8D method you have to from set of activity after 8D تقوم لما نقد تتقيمنا تسرح ناس effective and efficient لقونا من قدي problem way تندولي quality assure كنقبر نخل maintain كنقبر نخلينا way توم شو انت principle لو نعمل quality parameters maintain كنقبر نخلينا قبل نقدر يوصلنا غير مالتيو 8D. So 8D is a method has a set of activities divisions للو في توشت مالتيو. So نحن قد ملاقو مخادنا what هاي background information كهلو الناينات سعرنا بزعوا road بزعوا road cracking background information كهلونا تايو road cracking أما you happen one كلا اللي بالنجار. But in 8D basically those are the set of activities that we follow in 8D method. The first one was, as I said, we were trying to understand the project overview, like what's road cracking اللي بالنجار كم بيقول له مكرنا خونتات يو كاو حاجة لفتنا مجمرة step أنا 8D method problem solving method كنا أدخلنا نعم مجمرة problem نعم من الساري. What's the problem? So the problem is, yeah, that's the kind of where we are going to find the root cause from. So this is one activity. We will have a cross-functional team we should establish to solve this problem in 8D method. The other thing is we have to define the problem in terms of we should have to have like engineering definition engineering definition so engineering definition is I don't know how I can say it, but I think so you know we have to كعن كجلس باناليتيك فاليو تقرب الملكوع صقم ديفاين غير كامغرا مالتيو اللي حسب. So if it is like industry based لكون صراحه تكون كله manufacturing based لكون كله قاع like you will have containment actions يهلوها مالتيو. So اما قالوا تطوطو analyze تقولوا لملس تملسو قبلوا عينة نجار يونا مصراي way like kind of containment action توصلوا له نجارات كسكا quality أشير تقولوا تخدم follow up تقولوا. I remember when the professor was saying when some materials were ordered, if they are found that they have fault way quality شجر نحليهم كوينو خم يجيرهم لبينهم تفعليهم up store cap store lab investigation مع زعاتهم مع سجم تفتيرو سمعت ثانيه ماز information deliver تغيرو لافتو producer لافتو supplier زغلا غلا اللي نغرات مولاب follow up تغور المنجد يو trim containment action تغاغي. And the other is, so we will talk about really fishbone and 5Y, the basic elements in root cause analysis. So fishbone analysis now 5Y كالوت منجد تاع اليوم to insightful لغنا منجد تساقم ننسر له mechanism follow up كنقبر كلنا أي root cause زي الحاجة component يو نا 8D مالتيو. And the sixth one is corrective action. So we will have a corrective action basically for the problem. Then we have to validate that corrective action is really to لغمتنا يو corrective action سي solve يقول to ساقم للنجار investigate نقول له understand نقول له من قد يو كاو كما جرنا التماساسال ساقمات كان يبغى تخيجاتهم كما جرنا prevent نقبر لغاس على خيج كم ساقم زي قاع. Beyond that, beyond addressing this problem, how we can have like a kind of working procedures or manuals or like ideas that can prevent from happening similar problems in other areas, in other projects or similar projects basically. Preventive action set كنقبر كلنا أي مالتي. So more data we will have for the team acknowledgement and celebration. We have already the solution in hand. أبتقوار وعيلو لو كانت تلدل نجر كنا مستقلنا يوم زي الزمان قد زي the 8D principle تتقيمنا بزعوا road crack where you said on bridge failure للو ساقمات أدرس كنقبر لون كلنا أي مالتي. So for us detail بزعوا زي أنا لسلا road أنتم كنا قرأت ميدا ليجن what's the to overview كنقبر كلنا سي what happened with the road crack. Why road crack? نمتى يو crack لخون road traffic في السلسلة الوزحة way because of variation in temperature and rainfall, so that it is kind of contraction and expansion and contraction on the road. Is that because of poor materials used? Is that because of drainage where water infiltrates to the base soil so that it being like when it is hot temperature it's expanding, and when it is cold it's contracting so that it creates like a pattern, or the machineries that we are using for construction the road different machineries that uses to mix up the bitumen, gravel, soil material. Is it the metrology? Is it the human resource that we used there? بقول هنا تقدر له technician كيلا مهندس زيهم بمولهم بليم هلاهم ديو the standards that we use أجمع نيروهم all نجارة زيهم إخا تحسب خون خلوا you to road I think crack خون so reality again like road flexible pavement road معناته بزح عينة كوني غير flexible pavement كوني غير rigid pavement كوني غير our concern or our focus was on flexible pavement so when there is a distribution of load in flexible pavement كله scar bedrock effect deflection real effect of temperature on this parameter real road design construction process real quality controlling process real زيهم بولهم abroad كنريو المكرنا خناتات نيرو مالتي so this kind of overview information لهلو الناس يوم بمولهم تاي مالتي يوم لو النجار أصنعنا عم بيمنا مالتي so we find that the cause of pathol cracking way road cracking majorly road cracking بزح جيزة كم تفوتوا بسرقة في معخلو بوك يلو نريو بزح جيزة happen لخونا في سرقة مو so you to major problem when the vehicles are moving like motoran to بلونات مولو قال الجورو نات ماتيريال نمثال vehicles or cars قبل عد مأن كنت خو قبل سيرفيس كهوا قبل شوال الجبرة نمسرجع السوق خوني قليل so this is a measure اللي خلوص نايو pathol cracking نايو factor خون الخلو climate drainage construction materials plant oil chemicals of تشتغل له ground development lack of maintenance لهم هلاو زيهم بمولهم كنا نبوم كنفلتهم هنا سعرنا مالتهم so I don't think if I explain to you what is flexible pavement to you, this is a sinus. You can read it, kind of different layers. The low na soil na merit you. So it's like when it is in a good quality in when the load is really kind of equally distributed had throughout had عين durable هنا نجار كفتر كله load distribution كل على تحتي direct التحلف كلهم لله أو حدا وتعطي stress كفتر كم ليه كله نمل كتنا جراتيهم but I don't need to explain it this you can read it so this is we have the surveys for in road construction you know that we have the top surface of that's the bitumen then we have the base course we have sub base course we have soil subgrade so this is the flexible pavement where the load incurred on the top will be really kind of easily transferred to all those grades equally معناتنا بحدا you to stress كسمعوا تخيله بحدا كسمعوا بالمنقد دي كله so this is again we try to see how really load is transfer when trucks are really moving or na مكينة قوم في السرقة عارف كله to load distribution we have to profile soil profile كما يعرف كما يلبتن أبي to stress more sense نجورو so as much as possible equally distributed when يتنافنا delete ناقل how it is really distributed throughout the course of the soil profile لنجر نريولو so that it will give us like هم استجرنا هم زبقون يقولون له لمن قد نفتر لم نمبو نغرنايو so those are the signs again how really at some point when there is load in value profile like vertical how distributed gabber lulu simulation modelat entire lulu nagar nuriolu learna you it's not as such important like one so this is the stress when the load is loaded like you can see it on the left corner like how the red color is like where more the loads are really creating the stress but when we are far away from that how it is really distributed it's when it is more class like green color minimum stress كاونا رح كله خمي يفتر قال له النجار المرعي نريو نبرنايو داول هو التقوم ما كون كله خمي جيرو أفسر جاتا عينت ستريس يفتر له النجار ون across traffic بمرعي تتعامل له نجاريو but this is kind of there are models there are some of them they are used in the United States here and some of my colleagues were like referring and doing and they were looking into how the load parameter is really distributed on the soil profile of a road. Still the same is about load across the contour, microstrain. I think this is not as such important like value, but how really load was really distributed across the soil profile, horizontally, vertically, across the traffic level. So bedrock effect on pavement deflection is kind of materials, not to soil profile material. هذا عينت strings قبل على سكات تحتي ليك كلهم يخيل so to profile كما يكون كله because the way it's also reflect the load كعرفه كله لوريو character way behavior not soil of soil profile or deflection not to pavement نوع له انت كله يخيل مالتي so you know what deflection is basically in road or in pavement road so like كافتنو ورا بوتا لا كالي دايفرت قبل كله وي بوتو لقق عينت كله ديفليكت قبل كله نوريو يو بريتش او زعم زعت كارتات قاتم مثل نقرات كون يقل but this is all about the materials how we really الاسفلت مسرح لنا بتم لير نقمتهم 4 يوم ليرات نقمتهم بدرجهم بصريتهم بتكنسهم ويل تيستد تجيرهم سترينجزهم تمتينو تعقينو كندي الاكل تكنس كلهم يخيل تواهيلو يخاط صحهم basically مالتي لمثالي when the distance from the top surface to the bedrock حتصير نجر نحو كوينو when we really can find the bedrock very close to the surface then that's a good material and then the materials that we use above that hard rock نجنا بزح na quality ችግር ላይ ክፎት ረህ ወልዮም because but when there is like a big distance between the bedrock and the soil profiles that we use in road construction تنا bedrock ንጻፍና መሬት ኮክሊን ረኮል መንገድ ረኮብ ንሑ ኮይኑ then that will be the problem by any means ማይክ አትከሎ soil ብምጓር ክራት ብምፍጣር kind of ተቦርቢሩ ሓሸዋ ወይ ግዛዕ ዝኾኑ ነገራት ኮይኖም ብትላአቶ ኢንፊልትሬት ገይር ላአቶ ማይ horizontal ናት ጽርግያ ብክልቲኡ horizontal side ካአቱ ልኽእል ማይ ተመገሩ ብርብሮ ከም ልኽእል ግዛዕ ምዛዕ ምርኣይ ተጠቅምናሉ ነገራት እዩ but this is all about bedrock Davis effect on pavement deflection ምርኣይ ተተኸይድናሉ እዚ እውን kind of when the ridge if it is like a semi rigid base እንድሕር ኮይኑ kind of with a rigid base እንድሕር ኮይኑ when the load تنكر كله كعرف كله العليو خمي response يقبر العليو to be honest I don't know really how this is working but it just the whole idea was like how load was if load is loaded نحوينه خمي جيرو to na stress distribution خمي جيرو يفتر after of soil profile المرأي الأكل تتقمنا له يو pavement stiffness, sensitivity with respect to bedrock existence, that is the reference material that we used, effect of bedrock on flexible deflection, the kind of with a certain loads type, متاني بزحي load كعرفه كله your characteristics not soil profile. But this is what we all زلت تقمنا لتوانا نجر كم يجرو رود كونستراكت نجبر كلاس تايت حسب جيرنا هنا كونستراكت نجورو بروفايل تايت كون كله يو تاي يفتر الخلود تعرفه كله كم يجرو يكراك الفتر كم يجرو ديفليكشن الفتر لو نجر لقونا sort of information كنا يو so you are expected to do the same thing what happens with the bridge when the load is أو عارف كله when hydrologic flood peak flow rate موخ مسخر له هم يمكن تكفتر اللي خير وي traffic فسات bridge كم يكون خير كم يدفلك تجبر خير and the structural design of the bridge like the foot منامن أو كل الخل نجارات أو investigate مقوار و information أخذكم حجزكم بالخل من كدي المرأيك تقوم لكم مالتي so here again in road cracking the biggest role اللي جات كعت تعبير role اللي جات temperature يبتحدى وجن مالتي so how temperature like كل كله contracts الجبر لمثالي ما يوقعوا نشتي ما يحيزوا بالكون من قد صنيحو contracts غير صنيحو مو كله again expand جبر كله crack يفتر crack فتر كله exactly to accumulate الجامعي because of the great maintained blame guaru properly because so the OGL level after ما خليه لو نامو لا كل تيو side ناتس أرجع there is a kind of specified slope يلو تفضل يوم سقطكم slope في الست أما يتسرجع العرفة ماي كما جيرو فسيسو لا قلت يقولني لا to drainage ditches on the both sides of the road construct الجبرو drainage ditches كما جيرو لا أبخر كم الجباه أبسرجع ماي كهرس كم الجباه you design الجبر مالتي but as a matter of fact sometimes you know the road because of the load because of the material because of all what we were saying نشتي surface يفتر ما يكعقلوا له البوتاي يفتر مو بحرقوا when temperature كcold لا خوت نتغير كله expand in contraction كله خلو ما يعتو ما يكعت خلو بحرقوا يسرسيروا قوة خلو دم حسيو فاين لكون ماتيريالات حسيو تحتنا يمساعد بحرقوا هموم للنجار كفتر ما كنت تعرفوا خلو لوشتي كنوكل بالملكوع easily كفتر كله باتول نايم فتار circumstances مولو because of the temperature effect يلفتر. Now this is how when temperature is really at the highest time كون كله كمي deflect يجبر للنجار on pavement layers when there is contraction and expansion. Nuri Olu, you but just take this one how it could be on the bridge and think about it. So this is about the temperature. The temperature within 24 hours when there is a peak temperature كون كله how the deflection effect كما يكون قل مع lower لغنا deflection و stress level كله يقل مع temperature lower كون قل like in the morning until like 8 from midnight to 8 أكابي ده ساعات بنعمل اللو but peak temperature هاي كون كله صحيح اللو كل ساعات لا كما يكون يقل والنجارات المرأي تبدأ. So what I was trying to see so far is like the kind of background information. What happens in road cracking? What is the main reason of road cracking? لم تعيو road crack لجبر road كتايو كما يو أنت الجبر للنجارات المرأي لم بنايو لرنايو نجاراتيو. But also besides that we have to know also the process. So I think Professor has I'm sure that he told you that we have to see the process in order to say something. The whole process أحيلنا نقرص ندحك إلو نالخونا process نالخونا manufacturing process كون خيل وي kind of construction process كون خيل تايو الجبر كم جمرس كم جرس كم تايو الجبر فتوشتو لل ندحت في زخون كا it is easy for you to understand where the problem can happen and how to maintain that problem. So process map not to project not to activity process map وخلوكا important market. So our design this is a process as far as I know we have a desk work هلونا دحري secondary data collect يقبر site select يقبر then road select يقبر ناس رجعتوا لمثالي كاب مقلل لنا ما تسرجع سرحة خوي ناس أبغى زهنا ديسك أبيرو كين خنا ديسك توب سرق مستسرحة دحريو secondary data تبولهم مستعكو site select مستجارة يا root مرز كوناتو التمرس root soil and material investigation يقبر infield test يقبر laboratory test يقبر identifying construction material يوصلوا لمثالي تلمس material كفتو من material تفيل يقبر material really to تدلك quality يمال دو way excavate جيرنا نوجدو material is that too much should we bring another quality, the best quality for road construction? You guys know it about cut and fill or all the stuffs. So, but for this, there must be a testing on site testing, laboratory testing, around that. So primary hydrological and hydrologic data collect then geometric design, structural design, hydrological and hydraulic design. So this hydrology and hydraulic design will be very important in your bridge, where you are going to determine the peak flow rate that might cause like erosion hazard or like overturning or like scoring effect. So road design, geometric design, structural design, hydraulic mix up here. Road design specification then contractor mobilization material guide contractor, then site clearing ይግበር so GPS data ታት ካልኦት ልውሰዱ ነገራት ይውሰዱ contract agreement to you hand over ይግበር ልቱ ሰብ so select soil production ይካሄድ aggregate production ይካሄድ bitumen importation ይካሄድ. You guys know this all. So with this all again healing مملأ ملكة نجار مقعز مملأ لولو نجارات ناتخيل سوني حد حرية مودعتا ياو we realize نقبل road construct نقبل مالتي. Let's move this one or this one. Okay, I don't know. I don't want this one. So flexible pavement where road heal on data. But so what this gives you is you will, if you have this kind of process map of the whole process, you will easily understand what you are going to do, how you are going to maintain the quality at each aspect of this all. And then you will also able to understand where the problem might happen, at what stage of the whole process, where. So easily fix the مفلات من يحجزك عملتي because then again بحصير كايدو من قبل يتفضل تخوين غير خدي then you will take kind of بزح جزء توصل خمالتي and time is really in quality عندنا one factor you quality الحسر جزء وكل صريت والحسر جزء حال تمرت ويكتب بالمالتي. Okay, this again so this shows like quality control in road design construction. Time على تيجي خمسة عن تقولون إنه الناس test تجورو يحلف ده أي حل فيه. No عند حكوينه you will just redo it again. Yes عند حكوينه لفتقص على process يخد. لفتقص على process مسكرنا هذا قيدهم ما أخذنا قال test اللي جبرو analyze اللي جبرو using of design of experiment. You will use the all that we use in Minitab to sort of na analysis من قد تتقيمنا check ناقبرنا أنا نخد quality control check نقول من قد نفترنا نخد زين نون حكوين quality ليه مالت حكوينه كالأي من قد السر حلو يس انت حكوين لفتقص على من قد استيقي خدلو نقرات لر إيجو. This shows like how the quality control really in construction process كم يخد like left construction مساعتنا صرجعنا مقولوا لمثالي when they are expected to transport a field material from 5 kilometers away, and then if they bring that material, they tested it, if really is out of the quality standard ناتوخ من التدلين حلية مال قوين ويتقول سنح material more تلمسات to full material تلدل specification ليه مال قوينه contractor consultant low then that's what they work. The consultants to check go contractor ونسوي حقص تمرو quality assure go سوات لا check go counter check نتجاوره تلدل quality asphalt design تجبر تود تسرح مالتي لنا لزي control تجورو لمن قدي between the client between the producer the productor like and between the consultants اللي جبروا نجارات لريو مالتي. I'm not sure if you can read this one. This is very yeah, so in road asphalt pavement, I don't want to explain it too much, but this is what I was saying, how road really crack happen. So at the middle of the road, when you have this kind of stuff, when the rain comes over here, first the rain comes with high energy intensity low, so لازم يكوعه low, انا اشتي نقا قداداتنا فتره يبخد مالتي تورين بعلو دروب قبل كل بتلي ان tropical areas للونا rainfall انتن to كبدات اللو so I mean when it comes with energy with elements so that energy will also have an effect like little by little detach ناقبر اللي خدته ماتيريال مالتي poor material تكون بتلي to bitumen نوع علوم قد اللو قلت في affect قوري مالتي but anyway if it stays poundedly او بحدث انحيت ماي نشتي كاو contraction and expansion كل خلال وشتياتو خموم يول بحريو this kind of stuff فيتر and this is really the kind of the problem where the cars اللي علم انت المخاينم تخاليم تدل ريت يولي so it has to be maintained whatever quality standard او كم جمر يخسر حقوق يقولوا نقدر كله يقل but also maintenance is also one aspect of the failure maintenance بلا مقارون كفتر خلنا قرات يكون مالتي so it's kind of a structural problem that limits the serviceability of the structure with the combination of geological, geotechnical, design and construction and maintenance problems. So basically this is about road. Do you have any questions so far?
No.
Yeah, after one night at a night, so we'll have background information gather you. So climate weather effect to So when we try to investigate or to understand what is road cracking, we try to find those all. Those are kind of cracks in road. Alligator cracking, block cracking, longitudinal cracking. Those all cracks are really in a road. Bleeding, pothole, revealing, uphealing because of temperature, because of rainfall, because of the traffic load, because of geological formation, technical, lead to the geologic construction, all the material الفترس أجمع سلول خنوز يوم بملو كاوز يوم تميجر باتول كراكينج اللي بعديه وسرقيات ما خسرقيات ولراكم كدار مفتار الملكات الفترة يومتي so in road cracking there is a climate is already there the materials are there the profile the pavement road the bedrock or the material is already there so you have also the traffic with the climate of those elements, then those all combinations will, shorten the life of the road by making it really susceptible to cracking. So this is the way we see how many جرام تم نجارات خفت مسيم how many جرام affect الجورو يقولوا للنجار اللي مرعي بلنا يسوي باتول كراكس تايم على مخانو كم يفتر مخانو درنا له the same to rainfall limits دحريو أو يصنع ماكينة لبقوم أنكو أقرلا ألتفو أبساس بس بيسو المان أكتر بعد صنعها هم يجيروا كتشدد كم بس مس ماكينة تتمتسقاس كم يجيروا فاينالي باتول كفتر كم غل المرعي تتقمنا لمن قدي so initially it was this and it comes this and it becomes this is how it is really bottle cracking distress is happening or formation of distress in asphalt in road توم فترو الكل مقنعات rainfall precipitation يفترو ماي أو قصن حلو باوندر كوين قصن حل بلاس قلت عن طولكم rainfall كما تخلو لا برد ملك تغير طريقة كوين لمثالي وين برد expand كون كله برد كون كله بعلوي there is a kind of shrinking and expanding so it just أفتوشتي ناسفالت بوتا صنيحو بوتا قحزيك قنسي كله الفترة خفتت أو easily porosity and permeability تتحيزو كفتر الهول سجمات ون بوترك مثل temperature oxidation process اللي كاير لمثالي ناتخلتات كرنج أفاتنا تخلتات كالياتنا قرقت اليوم really easy the oxidation process facility تقول اليوم في السرقاز يون هذا factor you different chemical في السرقة like way مثل بيتمن ديزولو قبل اللي هون غير way oxidation process كفات النقرات external ingredient of to pigment كافات اللي يون هذا factor مالتهم soil drainage لوجتي how much it is infiltrated قبل how much it is compacted زيهم لون الكتو نقرات الفترة نقرات يوم مالتهم construction material يا auto material يوم بملهم ثلاث يوم the grade the sub grade the top grade the base grade زيهم بملو تلدل specification of quality الحلية مالهم كوينهم للroad crack أو effect كون يقولوا traffic load زيون the factor undermine ጌርና እንድሕኩል ስታክ ጌርናዮ the amount of traffic ፍሰቱ ካፍቱ expect ካፍቱ anticipate ልተገበረ ልዓለ እንድሕ ኮይኑ the cracking effect ዓብይ ክኾን ይኽእል እዩ so this plants and trees when they grow on the sideways of the road እዚኦም ለባዕሉ ናባዕሎም እቶም ስሮም expanded ናኾኑ ክእል ከሎ cracking ከመይ ገይሮም ፋክተር ክኾኑ ይኽእሉ oils and chemicals changing the behavior of the material ምፍጣር ground movement the earthquake ምናምን ተሃልዩ ያው obviously ከመይ ክኾን ከም ይኽእል lack of maintenance and the last one this is also one factor how road cracks can happen in conclusion the pothole is the defect on the surface of the paved asphalt road pothole cracks are reproduced when the traffic abrades or a small piece of the asphalt pavement surface so أنت عم تقول to go رهيو ويتأكل صنحة بنا traffic ፍሰት وغيره معنا لسكنه مس temperature change تتحيزه so easily كفتر نجارات لو مالتي so I think I don't need to explain this all but this is one way what we are investigating how a pothole crack or road crack happens so la root cause analysis atina project overview na تاينا غيرنا بزي okay سخاتكم كم يختخور خام تقولون دعي but we take an example our women ولاي تاسودو كابل تسرح حدث رجع كم أبنت غيرنا وسيدنا because we need data ندلس للنورنا مالتي بلاي data wait problem أبي كابل okay predictive wise هيبو تتكلم تفوت وتقول لكم problem هيبو تفتر problem أو تفطر الخلو بمجر بفيجر بقول لك الخلو فاليون وسيلهم analyze تقول تقول لكم using statistical tools تتعلمكم again really to problem happen لخونا نجار كون كله بحسب فترة فلا يخل so this is نوعكم من قد تتعلموا جن نحنا أول ما منش كولا تسدو لا أول ما منش الجواز حدا صرجع لا كميتي 10 كيلومتر لخونا صرجع وسيدنا مالت so location صرجع وزلوا زي ما سيدنا تمو قولوا له نجارات كعقانو لقولوا تعقينهم we had a literature review from Arwamic students basically what they know about that and we tried to understand هاي مثل تصرجعت أيو قات إمون يلو النجار كنرق موكرنا مالتي then now let's go to the 8D problem solving method سكافزل لكم حتوتني but has good have to really زين حكوين background information كما قلنا هنا to 8D method تتقيمنا road cracking road cause analysis on road cracking نفتح نقل بالنجار solve نقار موكرنا ماتي so far if you have any question you can ask me or like comes to تقول نيرو comes to تاجر from بالنجار تجيب waiter ترديكم له هون زعلان ولا خنيرة I don't know does give you sense I don't know so if you have any question you are welcome otherwise left to 8D من قدك يعني
قدمي وتيايا كانوا
yeah sure
I think study area أربعة متغير كأنها
yeah
from where you can get the study area تواهيكم ديو ويسنتين أنا طبعا حاجة just cracking it هاي for example we don't know the place where this has happened
yeah
in the same fashion and some كم يجيكم study area وسيلكم ويتحدثون additionally exercise تورينا كان تايو theory in a sense how the cracking is happened and what type of cracking and blah blah نايزيوم نجارات ال دوكمنتنا مكتات ويرمو نايزيوم نجارات نت نانا projects انتاي input anyway
thank you so I will make it short that what we have given is like only road cracking to do the root cause analysis of a road cracking using 8D method. So for us, it's our interest to choose a study area. Then the same thing, I think, you should apply the same thing. You have to select an area where you can see bridge failure or bridge cracking or whatever, based on your study interest. So no one gives us, in fact, ተምሃሮ ነይሮም ና 40 ምንጭ ዩኒቨርሲቲ ተምሃሮ ቆልዑት transportation engineering ተምሃሮ so like ኣብ ኣካባቢ ዝፈልጥዎ asphalt ዝኾነ so the whole idea of those overview of those ኛ ተሪእኻ ኮንካ ኣብ ኢትዮጵያ ዝስርሑ ለው ፅርግያሲ ይስርሑ ሞ ድሓረብ ሓፂር ግዜስ ካብቱ ተዋሃለሎም ዕድመ ቀዲሞም ክራክ የጋጥሞም ይባላሽው ሰርቪሶም because when we talk about quality we talk about ለዝኾነ ግዜ بالجبع سيرفيس نهابه لخونه ነገር ከህይወቱ ኃይሉ ዲዛይን ተገብሩ ለኾነ ነገር with a certain limit but before the design life of that project those roads in Ethiopia are facing problems nowadays. What is the major cause of that kind of problem? So ድሕሪ ከምዚ ኮይኑ 25 ዓመት ተዋሂሉ ተሰርሐ ፅርግያ እዩ ነይሩ እዚ 15 ዓመቱ ወይ 10 ዓመቱ completely damaged the. So we are the one to choose our study area, and the same thing may be applied for you. Kali after document na mektatna thai advantage lo nagar. So if you don't know really the process map, how it works, if you don't know the quality controlling mechanism, where you are going to maintain quality and where failure, what kind of failure, and the main reason of that failure could be information level that will be maybe you might not address the root cause analysis root cause لمثالي fishbone analysis what are you going to do with your fishbone analysis? What are you going to put there? What are you going to do with your 5Y if you don't have this background information? This road cracking might be the result of environmental factors. It can be construction materials, it can be machineries, it can be human resource, it can be skill and unskilled human resource and others. All those after background information فوتهم تكلني كات هاي خسعو خم الخلو سجمات كونوا خم الخلو تحرلا فيش بوند لمسؤول ساتهم يوم basically تحرلا 5 واي تشرفهم لساتهم يوم basically أو root cause لفت مين ثلاثة هلا أو تسيخها لاب prevention action and corrective action كتاعت خلقها لا تمين problemات أو road cracking كجاتهم هالخلو سجمات understand ناقبر خسلت عمت solution to preventive action خمسلة عمت يحجز خايب. So it also tells this is academic purpose, so it also tells us tells the professor how much we are devoted to refer and to understand, to know what might happen in road cracking. So I think if I answer you very well, I think it's good to include, I think, at the background information, but it's up to you. If you have those information somewhere, and then if you have the effect that might create on the bridge, so you might jump into 8D, and then you go, and then when you go to fishbone 5 that خلكم لا أطلعكم ما تخموا قال إلا لكم information مسألة ديالهم ثم تدخلوا للنجار وسريع كبير. Did I answer your question? I think I don't know.
Yeah, إسامة قال لكن توصف في هذا نجار يكادم.
Okay.
Still, you were describing the theoretical background of the cracking.
Mm-hmm.
Having this in mind, how can we relate those theoretical issues regarding the FEMA as well as FEMA? The Baharo Nagara Tamahina Hake. The FEMA ማለት just predicting or speculating the failure mode. قدمك 5 خاصة خليك speculate بحاجة. Whereas FEMA is after what is happened, the failure mode, by what mechanism this failure is happening, just clarify the government mechanism. ስለዚህ እዚኦም ነገራት ኣብ ምንታይ ፓርቲና ኢንክሉድ ንገብሮ ማለት እዩ
Okay, good question. I don't want you has the direct dive could go to la pifemia difemia to has the look milahatkum because pifemia difemia and control the quality control the celestium very important. You'll take those at the end of this course basically. So difemia is like okay. So you know you كعملت هون مجموعة design تقبل كل خاص difemia سلا سرحها بقى تودي مالتي هون when throughout the process الخونة product modify تقولوا اللي in terms of design تغيروا بحكوين كهونك at some point it will help you. Difemia will be there also in the process. The set of your human resource نسرر حقلته time management system efficiency لتكمل material the way arrange to go material set up كمامتو all this kind of other elements not particularly the product but other elements مولو تري المنجد دي زيهم مولو تتحيزهم يوم خلص كم وداتا سكاب quality control نا so in terms of design of a product انت اللي حاسيناس that means like ferro way انت concrete انت كم حكويناس تبرد نكارو ويت سيمنتو ومنعمل نوري له ديزاين جور خلينا مجمرة خلينا نوري خلينا وريف after محل نا design change ونا material change ونا نروح نقبل كلنا سو من قدون نصبح له ديفيميا ممكن تكمل له غير من قد تقول له خلينا يعني expect قبل جن they are not really important at this time ديفيميا بيفيميا لوجيزوس محيم أو لو كنا بتها بسكر كار حركة حبز قايم تردوي على basically مالتيو because نوع لهم procedure لهم procedure ديفيميا بيفيميا خسر حلقة خدت له procedure بعلو set of tens of procedures له ونوع لهم يجرقا investigate كم تجبر ديفيميا عند بيفيميا أنا أو زو قد دايزي حد elements كوزي يسلل العليو actually كورد كوسل العلو تذكريو they are important قلنا على set of procedure لهم implement تجبر ديفيميا عند بيفيميا هذا أنا اللي نالو كم يجرنا simple root cause analysis كم يجرنا نجبر 8D تتقيمنا. This is one way. Maybe another way. كاب 8D وصاي كان من قدي تتقيم كاكو root cause analysis كوخ قبل خير هون. Not 8D. 8D is that kind of framework. Then now which is it was the work تقدر فوت اللي هو قل background information مفلاتكم أو زخم مكتاتكم مفلاتكم mandatory because تلفلتكم you're not gonna do لمثال pattern cracking تلفلت أنا كم يجروا environmental factor way rainfall way temperature كم يجروا affect يجوروا إلى أو fish bond كمل أخلي أنا I have to know what pattern cracking is the background information كله أنني detail knowledge كله أنني بزعوا سو so ده حر fish bond five كمل كله كحجزن من تمالك أو زي مقامات ولا مقامات it depends on you maybe you can put it so that you are telling the professor that we read this all we understand it and this is the main reason why roads are cracking and the solution might be this way الكمبيوتر يلوتول من قد مفتار طول يوم اللي يحسن but for a while تفهمي عندي بفهمي على بيزو حارة اليوم نعلم set of procedure مثل لهم أو focus مقارنة الصبو كي بلنا كي تنكيب لنا لين سيجما قال لي لما أخلو فاسيلتيت الجورو كايزن من أمزيو بولهم سوسركم للاوزو روت كوزي حاويسو دحر عاويوم مود داتا بفهمي عند دفهمي خوينهم كمس كلهم مود داتا لهنا حجز تكون زفت early stage ويناني أنا مالتي so علامو 8D لمتاين أنت كمالو ياو it's already clearly here detailed team-oriented approach to solving critical problems in the production process. One way the purpose of project is to identify the root cause, root crack problem, implemented containment action. So it talks about this project specifically, but this is what the professor was saying in class and what you have learned already. So that you're aware about the problem. Aware about the problem is basically for me. That's what I was trying to do, investigating the background information, the theory. Yeah. So aware of a problem and report immediate manager. In a short term, already to product فليتنا يو to سجم ناس رجع ناس نعوبتها كاروا من جس كولا تسدل الخون اللي رجع فليتنا then at some point root cause analysis كنجبر نحكوينا there must be something reported information كل اليوم كافت community كافت تتقع كاب beneficiary اللي مسي information يو من علينا so the beneficiaries might come okay this road is really kind of cracking within a short period of time what happened to it level information كاب consumers كافت تتقعمتي كنركم كل لنا ثم جمرة ملعل خون الخيل مالته كاو زي لفنا قرار مانجمنت وين القرار نازو زول سرح أكل ويزو لما حد الأكل لو قرار طرعان زي مسمى then to manager team يقوم well functional هنا cross functional هنا team يقوم مالته this will be easy really in terms of industry I wish the process industry had a company wish to تقوله easily follow up تقول تقول نجاري but it doesn't mean that الكلام ليس رح مالك يكون أو زلا لمثالي كولا هسدوس كاب 4 مجلل له أسفلت كراك happen كوينو لعشر حمش عمل تهاله نقيعو تجعلدي دكتور يقولوا تحبر تسوي complain حيزو مسيو لتو ناي دو كل القطر من قدي حلافي or ناربا مجلل له ناربا مجلل زوريا زون ويبنامن ناقطر من قدي district office رعان تقريو then the first thing that organization that governmental organization will try to do is just establish a team of experts cross functional team او قائمه تنجر مرأي مالتي يقولوا تشكم قال امريت وسد داتات موساد really failure نيوم خانو كأمنوا لكل نجارات داتات يك مالتي دحريزهم داتات يوم يتأكيوم analyze تجيرهم صجمات فيشبون 5 واي لقريوم حرمون قد موداتو really kind of corrective action prevention action قمت موداتها مالتي so لما جمرة طبعا موصل من قد يمالتي so background information for in terms of 8D to detached you أنا عنده theory لقروا لكم سنحه ليه مزي connected عريه خني as expert for us more كنفلت من أنتي اللي صرنا بيت ما يبقى سيو خمسة so تشتي صرجع قطر من قد head office كي لا تتلو بعد ما تتلو طبعا عنكم مثلا كلهم كيدهم تشكي جورو يكونوا مجاري جورو how many narrow cracks big cracks اللو lengths widths of the crack then they will try to do some statistical analysis they might use Pareto they might use another stuff of measuring how really intense is the problem how what kind of severity level it has occurrence تاع المثل severity تاع المثل زول دحر لا بفهم هنك كلام روحنا قريب but they might try to understand about the severity detection level خلوت نقرات كريه ولا ما so the team will be established so the question if there are the right team members are selected together مقانهم أو زي quality engineers كل يو design engineer operational engineer whatever you know أب bridge اللي حكوا إننا لو قعدنا bridge المسرح من بعلمياتهم لهم you are the ones to decide so there will be a quality engineer there will be engineer design engineer there will be surveyor or like kind of material engineer geotechnical engineer نعم كانوا كلهم كلهم يكونوا مالتي so is the problem consistent with the resort that's what they're gonna check so problem description themselves يوم team تقارعهم كانوا problem describe نسكور و مستولته على نجر كما يلخت problem then when it is industry based كله they will take measure immediately أتوكل بو نجر تقوينه أتوكل لخونا تشك جبر ما استفتيرو كم ما كبير ريبورت تجارو كافتم من الماكينة مسرح الحكويناس مقدرة عمل الحكويناس so لخونا تويوتا ماكينة اللي قطعت ملو لخوينه حريت موترا ويبترك اللي يسرح له تقوينه لخونا سجى مقات مع له تقوينه سرحنا له so ما استمريتا كم ما أو لخونا بوتا قميت خاصة أنا لايس غير خا ريبورت غير خا تخرج من قد containment action لبعض أو civil engineering activity would be there let's say supply material field جبر material تاول خو بوتا مزيو قمت نيرو ستيل نتجبر نيرو تقوينه بوت quality لين ماله تقوينه ويسمينتو quality lower لخونا نقدر تليو سو check يرخا قال يتغير المنقدون كوني خير I think but problem describe جبر interim containment action سروح يجمر is the interim containment action effective but مالت So sometimes this interim containment action ማለት በሲቪል ኢንጂነሪንግ መንገድ let's say ጽርግያ ብሕቡጥቡጥ ለበለ ጽርግያ ተባላሽው ተቆይኑስ ብኡ ካብ ልኸዳተን መኪና ካሊን እሽተ መንገድ ቀይርካ ብዙ ነገር ዝተስተካከለ መንቴን ክገብሩ ትኽእልካ ባዕሉ ሓደ ነገር እዩ ምክንያቱ እንታይ ክትገብር ለካ ቅዱም ነበረ መንገዲ ቀይርካ ካልእ መንገዲ معجز كون خلنا نقدر جزء تكبر سكازتهم عايش المنقدي so kind solve you go to the problem the service not transport ونعمل له نقدر المرأة وكحجز كاي خير ماضي so I think containment action بوزح منقدي خاطري بس جزياو نكون له two problems خد على الخل منقدي بجزياو درجة اللي هو نقدر مفتاح توصل كله خاون you containment action so perform root cause analysis أو زوج تزي 5 fish bond law identify all the possible potential causes, select the most likely causes, is root cause identified. دحريو yes نعمل إن حقيقي يقصل إنه نحكي نقع تمارسو identify possible solutions نجنات so yes نحكي إنه already solution ترى ولا ثلث وين عقم جمرات جميل خات قلعي من قدي تمارس كات صرح له نجاريو PDCA منعمل ولا professor I think check do redesign نعمل له نجارات ونستاتو نتكلم مثلاً so permanent corrective action هلونا implement and validate corrective action for that corrective action the solution studio إلا نرجع المنقديو is the corrective action effective operational verified الجور المنقديو زي so لقد عليه زعجن زخيم لس preventive action وصل المنقديو so the حارزي at the end of نقدر زي ندرس مسكورنا زعجن تفتح لنا report نقوله لو عنا congratulate نقوله to team successfully زعجن address care ويلنا المنقديو مالتي so why do the asphalt road crack was a problem basically again before that we tried to see the people around Arba Minch so this I think I'm not sure if this مجمع أحمد صلى الله زي سلالخونة خنول لين غير لكن زي كافتو لمبنا يو نجارات لجنرالي لأسفلت crack مغنياتها وكون له نتوسات يوم وزير مثلنا asphalt cracks or distress is a structural problem that limits the functionality of that. In most developing tropical countries, it will happen due to geotechnical design, construction, maintenance, agamat. In Ethiopia, the road connectives are made to Alaita Sado, completed in Zamet Amrez Todio again, have to Kagalgulo Ludmel Tahtim Sagalgalat, Sagamat, Tafatiruo. So serviceability with quality generally hindered due to pathol crack, due to road cracks. Ilna, ما أقول هنا نقدر توجد but I'm not sure إيش بيزخمس اللوم جمرة يعني هون مجمرة تو هزبي مجمرة كقرر خلنيو like زصر جازي ثوالا شيو كراك قاطع بونيو يلو كمل كتل الخيل مهور لمهور محور ستتك عماي كونسيمر كقرر خلنيو الحر تبع المويات تخيلهم أبروف جورو كل اليوم كلمة قداتها تكون كل اليوم مالتي. A crack occurs on the Arba Minch where I said the asphalt road. So this is a problem. If this is a problem, then collect information on the failure, use symptoms checklists to ask the correct action, identify the need for emergency response action, that containment action زعنوا له ويمنعمل. زيهم بملهم. كافتو ريبورت التجارة من قد خيتنا توم دول من قد ذات أكملنا توم ريلا بعد تكون داتنا كولو ميجر نقول له لينجزون حاتنا تقعد على أفسر قال تفتر كلاكنا من نوصل له نجاري مالس. So we had a kind of cross-functional team. We have a quality engineer, product engineer. We had also design engineer. We had material engineer. We have construction engineer. Quality, whatever, all those teams we had, and it is clearly explained what they are going to do. So there are other people. This is their professional responsibility, and then this is what they are going to do with related to road cracking. We related the project that we are trying to investigate the root cause of that project. So. This kind of setup could welcome you. So engineering definition not a problem that I use. Second one is problem description. So to problem description basically to ማሕበረሰብ ለምጽኦ ከም ዘሎ 5WTH ንብሎ ወይ ቶም ህዝቢ ሪፖርት ዝገብርዎ ልኡኽ ምልስ ብልኽእል መልክዑ who what where when why how WHO ኮሽናት ክምልስ ብልኽእል መልክዑ እዚ ተፈጢሩ ተባይሉስ ከመይ ተፈጢሩ መን ፈጢርዎ ማዕዝ ተፈጢሩ ብከመይ ተፈጢሩ ልኡሉ ሕቶታት ምሉኦም those are engineering definitions of the problem basically. Sorry with this one. So this is what I was trying to explain earlier. ترجع لعسات حمش عملت مسكبرة أمزهم خوينو then team تواقمو then دي كم قصات عند خوينو تناحنا لعنا صرحنا مستم مسنا 4 منش زوريا ورد على لنا كتر من قدي إحنا خم team حسيبنا بتصير فتيرنا المجلس لأكل يوم تحت قمة إني عرفت أنا قري اسمه ما to be relevant but for you the reported problem is road pavement crack koinu in this area and then how it is what happened crack in flexible pavement where road crack koinu who reported the Arwam to Walaita Sodo Radio Authority where happened in this area when did it happen in this one why did it happen these failures how much is it كنزل أكل مسالب مجمرة مجر خبر كله في سرقة معات كراكات اللو أنا أشتري كراكات ويمنعمل but PSI مالت مس plastic elasticity index do you like yeah plastic conditional index اللي بحالها بسرقة تكمل لحد parameter you so سمعنا percentage كنزل أكل which is high كونير lower يلو نقدر بتست غير قوي لقنا أناليسيس ولا راتب وسيب قتست غير قطرق ورد ذلك حسكا أو زي level يلو تقول تدخل من قد مسفترها that it shows the intensity of the problem. How did it determine? By visualizing, inspection, and the PCI analysis. Plastic conditional index analysis. But this is very important. What you have to keep in your mind in your project. You have to have this kind of information. When you have the bridge, then the bridge تسيرو تسأجم قتل مو مخانو لو report خجبر الغل مع استفتير مع استسرحو تاجت مو because of what this happened للنجار sort of information كلكم إنه ملعالي information. This is how you are really prepare your the engineering program of that project. So again, you will have quality controlling analysis كلكم. So خمسين استفترة تو ترجع خيرهم. And I told you to bridge خيرهم. العكن بارامترات كتعكن يهم. العكن بارامترات مسعكنكم مستو ستاندرد ويمستو خون لجبوا maintain جور ويكون وول جبا ستاندرد نحل فالاس لفتر خوينو. Then it will shows you that really kind of a problem. Let's say for us كم زيادات نيرنا. Let's say ترجع أنا أشتري كراكات دكاتي minor كراكات لبوها نيرهم. Major كراكات نيرهم عبيت كراكات نيرهم medium whatever. Second section by section كأكون دزي لو مثلا ل10 كيلومتر ولا 15 كيلومتر أقول له characteristics كعشرة 15 كيلومتر كحمسة له characteristics تعقنوا كحمسة كساحة كمية 10 أقول لكم لمثلا PSI plastic conditional index عنتو لكم كالوت بارامترات كعقنوا لجوبهم نجار which are defect indication لكل نجارات اليوم statistically using ANOVA using Pareto using whatever you do analyze غيركم result حسبكم مسخول لهم then it shows you لكل نجار يوكم أو لكل وتعوز كالك نزل 5 دقيقة لسه قبل تفتح له. Let's say this one with the using the Fisher LCD method it shows us like there is a significant difference between section 4 and the other sections. So the other sections are more or less similar, but section 4 is different from section 1, 2, 3, 4, section 1, 2, and 3. Why? Because of that the item that the failure mode that we measure and analyze. Maybe it is in the number of cracks. I don't know. I forget it. Or PSI. So بخمس ملكوعو صقام تفتيرو بخانو ما نقدر يوزي مالتي like analysis كبرك statistically yes there is a problem that needs to be analyzed root cause خفلت corrective action identify كግበር prevention action لخقመጠሉ ምንቲ በዚህ መነጽር ክረአ البروبلم እንي እዩ ፍቲ ቦታ ኢልና ክንገልጸሉ ንክእል ነገር analysis ክንሰርሕ ንክእልና ማለት እዩ so the interval plot for PSI use the plasticity index I think is so what I was trying to see the orders of the section were here but I know this is used to calculate the interval I mean interval calculating together I don't know but this is an PSI interval plot analysis more or less the section 1 and section 4 are on the same whereas honestly I don't know so PSI range so there is in road construction there is ክንደይ PSI ተሃልይዎ እዩ ፅርግያ ጥዑይ ልበሃል ብናይ ኣሜሪካ ሳርቴም ናይ ኣሜሪካ ስታንዳርድ ሮድ ኮንስትራክሽን ዝኾነ PSI ካብ ልዕሊ 85 ላዕሊ ክኾን ከሎ ወይ ካብ ዝኾነ ሌቨል ዝኾነ ክላሲፊኬሽን ይውሃቦ ካብ ዝኾነ ሌቨል ታሕቲ ክኾን ከሎ ከዓ ኳሊቲኡ ብዚ መንገዲ ይቕመጥ ለምሳሌ ብኣፍትናትና ኣናሊሲስ 85 up to 100 PSI ዝኾነ good 70 up to 85 satisfactory 55 70 fair this is the standard that we already directly took from the US standard on road based on PSI so ካውል ታሕቲ ዝኾኑ ነገራት poor እዮም that's why we are trying to compare using the fish LSA the analysis where section 4 and section 1 is this one and of course it shows but I don't know section 1 and section 2 have where is section 1 this is section 1 okay significant difference in يوم يبلن له ግን ኣብዚ significant difference ልምታይ የረኒ ተረድን so it's very poor 10 to 50 serious this much percent okay section 2 section 3 weighted average PSI in a percent so this is a kind of the weighted average the sum of يመስለኒ within that section كل الغير total amount يመስለኒ but I don't know why I was doing this one so failed لኾነ this one 0 to 10 كون كلها failed but درو ካውዝ ማተር ዝገብረና PSI range analysis ካብ ዝኾነ level ልላዕሊ او ዝኾነ ጽቡቕ level ኣሎ ካብ ዝኾነ level ልታሕቲ او ትሕት ዘለው so poor ኣሎ እዚኦም poor ሓደ ጸገም ምኾን ለርእየና እዚ ከዓ ብልሕሾ ኩነታት ዘሎ ሜንቴናንስ ለድልዮ ብስሩ ጭራሽ ምቕያር ለድልዮ ነገራት ክህልዎ ከም ዝኽእል after analysisና የርእየና ኣሎ ማለት እዩ so this is the kind of problems that were in the road from Arman to Walaita Sado this is ከምዚኦም ዝበሉ incidents of failure ነይሮም measure ተገበሩ so this again in terms of the kind of cracks that I told you earlier in our reading there are different kinds of patrol bumpers patching revealing routing them ተፈላለዩ አይነት failure modes well road cracking እዮም ድሕሪ እዚኦም in terms of their abundancy or in terms of their distribution within the study road the Pareto analysis ክንሪኦም ከኢልና ማለት እዩ so just there are a lot of potholes basically what it shows us and bumps also ካልኦት ተዓይነት ክራካት እዮም ናእሰ ክራክ መን እዩ ኣበይና ብበዝሕን ተጸገም ናይዙ ምክንያቱ ናይዙ road cracking problem ኣይና እዩ ክኾን ይኽእል ልብል ነገር ከርእየና ይኽእል እዩ ማለት እዩ I think that's what it focuses you person 2 ምናምን ልልከት ነገራት ኣለዎ እዚ so this is now root cause analysis after root cause ቅድሚ ጃምፕ ጌርና ዲሳይድ ምግባርና በአናሊሲስ ንሪኦም ልግቡና እዮም ማለት እዩ Pareto chart of the type of defect here and now they win so kind of narrow cracks this much in terms of revealing white cracks and others here and now this more higher in terms of narrow cracks معات مخانهم لرينا نقرات اللوزين التي so our solutions will be like how to زيهم address كنقولوا نخيل من قدي لافتو white main root cause تاخوني يخيل زيهم لو نقدرون كحبرنا يو then address كنقبر كلاون بقولك أنت مقبرنا مالتي. So in terms of containment action, I don't know, as I told you earlier, this is containment action is interim containment action is industry based كون كله لحشة نجار يوم معناتها supplier فيلات client فيلات process فيلات معازي متسو معازي عطو document اليوم أو story قمتو الجزء تطوط بلوم solution اللي شلو كله تقبر تغل أب كم زي عين civil engineering صراحة تقعجن what kind of interim containment action هتوصل للنجار will be an issue basically مثالي materialات الموضوع material quality يوم ليوم مالو تقولهم the surveyor or the supply engineer check يرو test كيرو مصريهم لخونا نجار خجبر خلي من قد ندقنا سرجع تنبر حدا قالوا صحوا خلي تلوت من قد سريحو تن service قص المبار كم interim containment action can also look at activity humanity. So temporary diversion of traffic flow to gravel road on the side. So design جبر كمعز told you know that's بلا ملكوعو to containment action automatically provide road surface marking. That's kind of marking where the damages are there. كان يقول أتكي وصحهم ثم شجرات لهم بهاتات marking كهتهم كان لها ماتي. Culvert and pipe maintenance aggravate اللي جوه تقولهم لقادو تقولهم تسجل لجزء أو تقبل الخدمة maintenance الكتير providing effective and efficient drainage system repairing potholes. So this is think whatever you think ناتكم a bridge أسيكم انتهي لجزء واحد bridge تسيره تقول تقولوا maybe you will bring like cement concrete near تقولوا لمثال مكلاكيال تكملوا تعطف مكينة المسل bridge تقولوا I don't know. Think about that. So what you are going to do for the time being for interim containment action تقولوا تقولوا لحسابي مالتي. So repairing edges, sealing cracks, surface dressing, slurry sealing, those all target and their status clearly متغمتوا as part of interim containment action gear now سيدنا متنعمل لنا مالتي. Do you have any question so far?
أوزيد عندي حتى كحتى.
Okay.
مالت تو actually after the professional course ولا يكون من تعيسي تو هذه باتولي خا مريض خا زل خاوزي نايزي كافتم تفعلي ناي كراك عينت ويدما نايزي فيلريتي عينت مو السحزسي نعاتو اسوت مرت لخبسي مالت كافت بزحي بو باتول سلرخوكم لديت ولا سؤال قايقا سؤالهم ناي راندملي مسل غيركم وسنت نبلو لمثالي نهاتنا ميديو انجن فيلر نيو كار انجن فيلر يلو هذه فيلريتي بتاعم بوزح عينتات اللو معناته تفعل عينتات اللو ناي ويل مالس بدنب زيت لي كركب يخيل ويدمو ناي بامب كوني فيل بامب فيلر كوني خيل ويدمو زي تفعل عينتات اللو فيلريتي هذنا هاتنا فوكس غيرنا حادو سلكت غيرنا انا لو زي 8 دي انتن كنمصن تامبليت كنمصن خلمو تناتكم وين تمساسالي مخناتو تمساسالي خوين يريمو تو سيلكت غبرتلكم كابي كامنتاي انجلكم تبغيسكم تو زي سيلكت تقول لخالكم يسو حدا كم تياقي انتن كدرون هذا.
Good question. Any other question? So to try to answer your question, Kiltenegar, in fact, when we read about pothole cracking worldwide, tropical climate, or temperate climate, or local climate, تمزحتوا abroad cracking للرأس pothole cracking مخانو define قبل يقولوا طب literature مولعوا مالتي. It is really connected to weather condition. With rainfall and temperature and rainfall pressure are those really elements that really change and affect this, the product type. So pathol ክንወስድ ከለና ሓደ ከም ዝለቃልኩ when we try to frame our project and to understand what's the problem in road cracking, we find that pathol is the major problem. So that is something. The second is when we try also to read, to measure the cracks, the defects from the road which we are studying from Armami to Walaita Sado. And that are the major problems that we find in the ground. So having those all قلتيهم نقولهم كراكات نقبر interested يخوناي major crack root cause بحال كله by the way المسلني the major يخات اللي شو major correct تغير خايو كالوت تزامت حدقة فوتر يقول لقرات له minimize يكون يوم because of نسوب maintain بمقوار خاب معرايخ أو كلام industry أب manufacturing industry مسلني so that's where you focus the root cause. You will have really kind of كلهم صجمات كله the root نايزيهم بملهم كون كلا ينايو لخن حيو سرح كون كان. So if you try to work on pathol cracking, and pathol is caused by being like temperature and rainfall and the changing of something stuff. So أو between كم كان الخطأ عن أو كم temperature تخلط لي خلط grade subgrade base grade متاعين compaction level كدليو يخيل drainage متاعين drainage كدليو يخيل خم يجيرو side way لقنا لا side channel flow قبل لقنا قبل هم يجير كدزين تقولوا ترجع and others لا تحسب تخوني خا when you are addressing the pathol cracking, but it is a dominant cracking also in road cracking.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, bro. So we're here. Root cause analysis. So the measure in root cause analysis, part of from the AD method, is like several tools can be used for root cause analysis, such as brainstorming, fishbone diagram, 5Y, FEMIA, fault tree, flowcharts, affinity diagram. So look, you have a number of ways to really to identify the root cause of a defect or a problem in your project. ግን هذا هنا more تنبعوا focus تو هيوم بسرعه fishbone diagramنا 5Y يوم وزحتونا نحن هذا تطعمنا لهم زي يوم but there are like the fault tree flowcharts كالوت لذا they can be used as a root cause analysis كنت كمان لهم تخيلينها. So think about with your project on that aspect, like on your bridge failure or whatever, then كان يوقتوس إذا لقتوس تدخلوا خلي إلى لو more addressed قبل خلي ترقيكم لسه لقتوس تدخلوا مالتي. So this is fishbone diagram. So I hope Professor بدم بيجيروس له fishbone diagram هاي مالت مخانو بزح نجرا مهيركم مخانيو أنا من مكوس خالق النجرا ليبت really تقرصوا على خم تاتقينوس ياو حدهم من تير كختوس كلا خاوي أرنج خونزون بروبلمات يوم من يو كوزون خونخل أم تاي جريد يوم أم تاي كاركترستيكس يوم لغمطوز أجماس يوم كنديناي severity level يوم تايو high severity يوم medium severity يوم دحنا يوم يلقى كتوم كلا خمالتيو دحريو to more severe كونه نجر really so address تقولون تحكي لك تتأجم تفتح لك يونل. Our issue was with road cracking, with pathol cracking. So the major problems with the cracking of that road is the road problems basically with personal level. This is personal, not personal. Personal level. So personal is about all human resources basically, and skilled operator. This all are kind of one basket, like you can put them in one kind of category. Material الملكات, like selection of wrong material, strengths of and texture of the aggregate, reactivity of the material, grade of the bitumen. This is about the material. So be careful also about the defined material and machineries. I remember the other day when the professor was teaching in class, and I was also wrong at that time. Material and machine, like we consider them like in road construction, we consider them like they are materials. So the machineries are also materials. We consider it, but it's totally wrong. The materials are those are used as input for the road construction, and the machineries are the equipment that are used as instrument. So you have to define the material, you have to define the machineries and the equipment. The method, for instance, a lot of problems in the method, let's say mixed design process, problem near a grading process, compaction process, paving process, design error, poor construction management, utilization of standards. So, I mean, it's sometimes that you cannot figure it out how much it is. Sometimes you use your common sense that this might affect it really heavily for that particular project. Because it doesn't, we cannot give really a precise figure for how the method really affects us in road cracking, the method of road construction. But we know that there is poor meteorological data analysis, there is poor laboratory, there is poor soil testing, compaction. So this whole, there are elements in the method of road design and construction. And it could be the major problem in that for the road cracking in Arba Minch and Laita Sodo. Because there is no advanced laboratory, advanced meteorological data analysis together, like grade at تفاعلات material قال يكون أي صور المزاح بيصير قصة and our reading our the document and the literature about that project also says like that they had no like a testing in each at site, for example soil testing at site I feel the test to go rough to feel material how can it so really to the strengths of new meteorological station now class A meteorological station anyway that means like SIP analysis can let go control ويم لو really plastic index تعنتو له نور كتير من قديم بال anyway مالت so material environment factors, for example when you go to tropical climates during the hot season like April, February, March, April, May, and June, it's very sunny, it's very hot, and it is around Arwamich, especially when it is. And sometime in summer or like in winter, maybe sometimes it's cold. So that will be a factor in terms of cracking, in terms of shrinking and expanding of the road. So this is environmental factors, including dynamics of theirs. There is also this is also in the Rift Valley area. I don't know. So this is also one factor. Measurement, validation of calibration, gauge R&R testers, calibration of the testers. Soil and geographical landscape. Let's say soil, clay soil you أو كبزحات الترقة when clay حكوينه soil نايم قار ما يكرك كله محبات ما يكسن كله مجلاد لولو characteristics كله يقولوا مالتي soil type to again the bedrock might be like fertile na رقي اللي هنا مريت نحكوينه to bedrock نحكوا له الحاجات بتعمي deep distance نحكوا نحكوينه then road construct نقبر كلنا ثم أون تقوموا لهم material that will be susceptible to the infiltration and the drainage problem and the shrinking and expansion problem of malati. My محلف بتلي بمزرع من كات malati. هذه meteorology and meteorology. So what I am going to tell you, when you try to put your problems in a fishbone diagram, you have to put every aspect, like all of them, all the problems that you think will be a factor in road in your bridge failure. إذا كنتم قريبهم رأيهم لو عينهم بقى يوم كوني يقول يوم طرح مال كيكونس each individual تريهم منكم أبي كاتيجوري يتقالوا أو حاجة كاتيجوري أو environmental تاي فاكتورات كل يقولوا أو soil أو economic of measurement, of metrology, machinery, of method. Think about that and then define those all elements that might cause a defect. And of course, grade them, like put them, prioritize them, make them red, which are really kind of a problematic one. And those of green, they have a minimum effect. On those of yellow, that's a moderate one. So ብዙ መንገድ እዚህ ጌርኩም ክተምጡ ክትኮሉ ለኩም ማለት እዩ ይመስለኒ معات ነገራት እዩ እዚህ so but I think yours is like a bridge. So in a bridge to measure كون الكل ነገራት ታይኮን ይኮሉ ቶም ኤሌመንታት እዚኦም ሁሉም ኤሌመንት ግን ቶም ክፍጠሩ ሁሉ ጸገማተውታት ምንጻር ንስለ ለኮን ይኸል ካብ ስርጋ ብልና ሰመርኩ ኮን ይኸል but try to include every element and they're in their order. Possible cause researching like environment. I mean, this is basically what it was there. After fishbond, environment, temperature, rainfall, traffic load, process compaction, grading, paving, materials, aggregate size. I mean, well explained explains only if temperature changes affects asphalt stability during the wet and dry season. So, look on a problem. Explain when that's its effect ما أزيل الرئلو لخونا factor weight لخونا environmental factor unit في نايسي ما أزيل الرئلو problemo explain to go is it like status أبزو conditions statusu high do you most likely do you يلي do effect to كده اللي نجار ونتري اللي يزيون هذا element of on the fishbone analysis كنصار حالنا or root cause analysis نتكمل. This is a problem, a kind of matrix in a tabulated form where you put those problems and then you define them, how they occur and their level of occurrence. Is it most likely? Is it likely? Is it less? Something like that. So, it's kind of matrix of problem matrix. This doesn't really give the deep inside نقولهم نقرات في رأينا يوم نقرات بلا أمت مالكوعي فأنا يسرحنا أنا I think when I try to understand this one. So soil machinery, let's say soil property, low soil solidity, density affect the subgrade strengths most likely. Let's say machinery, lack of appropriate setup and validation, low productivity of the machinery, likely. وكيلا ينبرني تن ماتيريال وي توالاشين منتيني تجبراي هنا تجمع فترة مكوانا خلال ولا من قد مالتي measurement منكم so you will have the next one is you will have an action plan to verify root cause. So that action plan time you will have task assigned to get break على problem address لهم problem اللي نقمتنا يوم من solve خجورهم كم لهم problem ساتهم أزي أنا أرجع maybe it's difficult أب civil engineering حدا يجي address تجورهم نقدر لا يكون خير but in terms of manufacturing industry or really in a kind of industry سوون assign تجبر solution ون تستعمله تخيل ما تماشينون maintain تجور تخيل جلا حتى الجزء خوص الخواني خيل. This is my personal understanding. May also work in the civil engineering work very well. This fact might work also, but a bit. So let's say we have a bitumen grade problem then bitumen expert لنا عرفتم the cross functional team then so صجمات هنا رغمتنا يفريم وست تودي تسرح دو نقول له من قدي مالتي so action plan to verify root cause. So this is to verify basically by the way it will not be a big problem to verify صجم نيودو نيو فلتنا يونينا صجمو تقول له مالتي ده حارة عند solution نقمات يخبي لي لوك نور كتقدمه هيد نقرأ نوركو solution نختار متكلخة corrective action نختار متكلخة حتى الجزء اللي يكون يخيل civil engineering صراحة تجنزي صجمو identify المقبر بزح جزء اللي يكون سريع but we have among the cross functional team there is an expert who looks into the bitumen and then there is a problem with bitumen, then it's completed. Check if the cross section of the side ditch is appropriate for the peak of run. The hydrologist will be there. Then you try to understand the road, the side channels on the sides of the road. Sagam come low, identify completed already. There is a problem in the drainage. Investigate if the selected materials have adequate strengths. So the material engineer will be really analyze them. If they have the required strength, then you will say if that problem is completed. So this shows us, this tells us those are the set of problems, and they are really identified by the cross-functional team that they are a problem. The same was check the adequate traffic volume estimation, the transportation engineer law. So ongoing for that time. So I think at the end of when we have the final report, I think it has to be completed. But when we were, I think this was something on the mid. Professor slide, but it shows like ongoing. But at the end of the day, I think it should be completed and it should be addressed if it is a problem. Traffic facility تخيل كامل جبوا solve تغيير خارج الجبوا corrective action تقوم بتلوس ترسل الجبوا مالتي. Check the availability of diffemia and epithemia, quality engineering, ongoing. Check the consideration of interaction among different factors affecting the performance of the pavement service, quality engineering, ongoing. To be honest, I'm not sure about this being ongoing. So I think at the end of the day, when we submit the report, this has to be completed. That's my assumption. So we go to 5Y. 5Y قدن يكون يحمش واي رميت كات راح سولف تقوره كسلست واي كودايقل أو رعت واي كودايقل whatever قل to sequence to frame to mass to build up you وانا مسارتنا أو نجار لمن تايز غوينو because of this لمن تايز غوينو because of this لمن تايز غوينو because of this إلنا كنا مطلع حكي لنا problem really have to critical problem يمرحنا بقانون مالتي تانا متشرشة root cause indicates للجبرنا مالتي so كابي الفترة 5Y have to fish bond تم critical لكون نجارات كأوسيدنا أمسينا كنا نقوم كلنا وزي independently كمريم كلنا مالتي. Let's say in our fishbone analysis we find that environmental factors are the problem. Among them, temperature and rainfall is a problem. But we are trying to see here how temperature really affects road cracking. So pothole crack happens in the pavement. This is a problem. Why? So poor stability exists in the asphalt mixture. Why? Temperature change effect. So that stability, here's the keyword. So this asphalt mixture have a poor stability. It's not stable. It's changing. It's just because of temperature effect, being cold, being cold in a warm state. So and why this has happened? Maybe the bitumen that we use over there is like problematic. There is inappropriate bitumen grade because the bitumen have its own specified temperature value. So armament Zuria Kavi, Tetamna bitumen, we whatever Kartama, whatever. That's appropriate quality only. Must do temperature so match Tageru, design Tagare. Then material selection. Then the final problem, then material selection or design error using what problem? Material selection problem. Yeah, it could be also design problem, but there's basically kind of material selection. Bitumen can merge the two temperature operate on a bitumen emerges nine. That's why it is stable, unstable, temperature change. That's why a pothole is being cracked. So we have to try to connect. Here is a pothole. Pothole is basically connected with temperature. How? Just it affects the stability, and that stability is due to temperature change, and that is because of there is a bitumen around that really works with a certain degree Celsius or like a specified temperature range. And so this is about again the material that we use it in road construction. Something like that. Maybe this is the right one. Maybe it is wrong. Maybe you'll have your own understanding. But one thing what I want to explain is that the final one should really tell the root cause. Should lead us. This should lead us to the root cause. So when we try to select our material, if we were like right in selecting that material, we might not have been facing this kind of problem. That's what it tells me at the end. So the path of road cracking again. So accumulation of water on the pavement surface, rainfall, precipitation. Okay, so why it is accumulated? Rainfall and precipitation. So why it is precipitation and rainfall, removal of asphalt binding materials or bitumen. I don't know. It's really kind of the connectivity. The connectivity creates a lot of damage. So we say that's accumulation of water, and then due to rainfall and precipitation, why it is accumulated removal of asphalt binding material. No. What due to rainfall and precipitation, remove the accumulation, direct effect among all those three of them, there is something false that I can see it right now. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but accumulation, rainfall, precipitation, okay. Then why rainfall and precipitation? Removal of asphalt binding material. Here what is saying, rainfall, precipitation, detach bitumen material I don't know, but think about that. This is the order we put, and the last one should really indicate the root cause. Poor estimation of rainfall characteristics, poor bitumen quality, or this is about both of them, like estimation of rainfall in terms of rainfall intensity, rainfall duration, high rainfall, like peak rainfall exam, estimate design but to be honest, there is a kind of problem over here. I don't know. Pavement road crack, pothole crack happens in the pavement. Why? Overflooding effect. Why? Inadequate drainage system. Why? Inadequate side ditch drainage. Why? Poor design. This is perfect as far as I understand. Pothole crack happen geru overflowed that overflowed in a sense like when the water is stagnant in the road surface, but when it is infiltrated and creates like a drain throughout to the base crate. So that is like a poor drainage problem. Stagnant after properly sloped so there's a poor drainage problem and inadequate side ditch then here again something that the flood is coming from the surrounding catchment left low I don't know, but there is a poor design basically. Something like that. As much as possible the 5 why. Any question? اوكي حتى تحليكم لو خنا مهاره لو خنا تقولوا لكم تقولين لا انا مهاره اللي بقى انا قال but there is a kind of complication in this document basically. I don't know, so it may be right, maybe not right. We were practicing this at that age, at that stage, so I don't know what's going on here, but the idea is how you have to create coherence and connections between the first one is stated and then how the first one is caused by the second one, and the second one is caused by that and by that and by that. Then finally, the root cause one has to be indicated in the final one. So it says, for example, is in approach design manual. If we don't have really an Ethiopia constructing road exams, that we design is not. But Ethiopia design a gawra men gadi gadel na inantikam. We will number to sidna namen design go. So if it is the design problem we really have practical analysis develop on a manual way او لخونه ቦታ ኣብ መቐለ ካብ ክሰርሕ ነበረ ማኑዋል ንመቐለ ካብታት ዝሰርሕ ልሽረ ካብታት ተወሲድናዩ ወይ ለክስሞ ከባቢ او apply ክንገብሮ እንድሕሞ ኪርናት ማኑዋል may not work because there are different variations in terms of civil engineering ስራሕ so that's after ለምሳሌ ለክስሞ ከባቢ ዋልካን ኮነ መሬት እንድሕባሉ ኮይኑ ክለይ ለኮነ ልወዝሑ መሬት aflo or whatever the hard كالي لقنا really kind of strong hard aggregate materials اللي كاتات نحكينه to manual كم زت خوينس كم زين غور سايزو كم زي في الترافيك لما نتخوين كم زي population قال لنا خلينا نسرحها كون كات manual لو describe لك كبر خير you know I think try to look into your bridge failure put the questions in order but the final one also should show you the root cause why the bridge is cracking or failing. اليوم so هذه fishbone analysis gearna to investigation level modu فلتنا most likely affect go role likely less likely لكون identify gearna 5y identify gearna so somewhat where we define the problem then can we really do some simulation for this problem basically how the simulation كلور يوم نخيل لزوم صجماس يوم مثلا temperature simulation نجار كم يجرو crack فتر كامل قال مس bed grade ويمسو soil profile ناتهم soil grade ويمس bitumen تحيزو كم يجرو problem فتر كامل قال we can do so this is kind of another way of using like ANOVA analysis كده هنقبل كده معناته which is so quality control now what I want to tell you the quality control is all over the process at the beginning when the problem was reported the quality controlling process or the quality engineer was doing something like if really the problem is there saying to report the problem see really near you but allo zi khunzi larena not ground so there is a problem there is variation there is defect in you confirm govern line the other thing again tom root cause identify مسجورنا to root cause مستول تقمطوا له ምክንያት አታحيزو እንደገና በሲሙሌሽን ምናምን really ولا even design of experiment كتقام الحكي له በት ANOVA basically design of experiment حريقهم سخاتو توسبرو زيوم تطعيم እንደገና አናላይስ ገብር እንደحكي له to root cause بANOVA وخلي statistical mechanism كريوم እንደحكي له this is also the second chapter of confirming the problem basically so what they are trying to do here is they just want to confirm the problem is real the problem is the exact problem that causes the failure so we try to use the MNPEV software analysis so this software analysis has like a traffic class لكون traffic class اتهلو subgrade strings اتهلو so I think this is also ERA's recommended traffic class and the subgrade strings class of the road design the Ethiopia road design authority ተቀመሉ you so you have this kind of traffic in the helicopters and this kind of strings of subgrade كله ምናምን ተተዋይሉ ተዘጋጀው ነገር I don't know how it is really articulated here but that is something connected proof ምግባር ማለት ዝምሱ ማሽ ይገብር له ተልተረከበ ነገር እዚ ይመስል ትራፊክ ፍሰቱ ምዙ ከምዚ ለበለ strings of subgrade ማሽ ይገብር له ልብል ነገር ለምራይ ተቀይሉ so like again you have the thickness of we have the base grade subgrade with that manual for example كندز الاكل في السر ترافيك لاجلجل نحو كاينو كندز الاكل ماكينه لغعزالو ندح كاينن كندز عمل كجلجل توهيل ديزاين تجبره انت عين ديزاين تو ديزاين تكنس كلون يو سويل بروفايل لول ነገር ትሪኦሉ መንገዲ ቴስት ትገብረሉ እዩ so it's really this is a manual but when you go to the ground and then test that one you try to see is really the right thickness design تغير مخانو تريد له منقد مالتي one way of confirming that the problem had happened because of this kind of issue القطر له منقد يو I don't know how much important those are. These are used in the United States here, so I think percent of total damage the performance of the pavement design and the reliability of the structural design was computed using PEV software as below. To be honest, I didn't do this one. Manir was doing this one if he has something, but this kind of, they put some data, thickness, دحريو to flow خندي like flow أو يهلو. Then they were trying total damage on the road due to fatigue and routing in all seasons. So thickness يهلو the amount of flow traffic flow يهلو دحريو خندي like damage كسر يخل. لمثال تبرم عم يتفتر نيو دحريو بزو 5 سيناريو دحريو نايوس تفتر نيو damages مسجي كما يلخد. Like we were trying to simulate what's exactly here in terms of what we have in our environment, but okay, so what I want to say here, if you have a bridge failure in your study area, and if you find that the bridge failure, the main root cause of that bridge failure is something, you find it, and that failure is how had happened that failure, what elements are there. So some simulate really to failure فطيرهم وصم مخانهم كرب الملكو ريتو كاريكم بالخيل statistical analysis way ANOVAs راح نسرحهم و simulation تسرحهم. That is what you are confirming the that is the real root cause of that problem. That's what we were trying to show here. Reliability and the probability of failure analysis because of the traffic and the thickness. software really it's not clear and handy. So here we have the reliability. This is obviously reliability equals 1 minus probability of failure. Probability of failure is 1 minus reliability. Probability of failure due to fatigue is 1 minus 0. So this is from that model. And finally, they find that probability of failure due to routing is something 65%. This is something they tried to show us. Trying to show the professor that this might happen because of that kind of fatigue due to traffic flow and the thickness of that material and some stuff. Therefore, the road cannot provide its intended use within its design life. It's highly likely to fall due to high value of probability of failure. The other thing is we were trying also to see, as I told you, there are different kind of failures there. There are small cracks, large cracks, big cracks, and there is also PSI, the plastic index limit, how they are. And when we were trying to analyze that one using t-test, and then, for example, in road construction, if it is below 18, if it should be like in terms of plastic index, it should be above 30, above 32 or something. If it is below that, how it is from the mean value of that. That's what we are trying to show here in terms of comparison of the plastic index of the subgrade with the specification. According to the ERA, this is the manual that says the plastic index of the subgrade must be less than 30. It should be less than 30. Hence, an independent test was carried out to see the difference between the specification and the actual test from the sample collected. And this all what it shows, it should be a bit less than 30, but we can see that only one of them, and most of them are really kind of above 32, basically 32 and above. So this shows there is a problem in terms of the plastic index. So we were trying to confirm again the real problem. That is something in terms of design because we were saying the temperature when we try analysis, when we were trying to analyze the cracks due to temperature, due to something, due to bitumen, all they were saying kind of material problem, design error, all those stuff. So we are also trying to show them how those problems are really in terms of the plasticity index analysis also. From the graph below, the PI is not less than the specification, and almost all are above the specification. This is also showing with the chart, I think. So they are above that in most cases, and that's why this is problematic. He concludes that this is problematic too. But this doesn't have due to your bridge collapse or bridge failure. This is something in roads. Think about that. Think that kind of analysis in your bridge and try to see what that failure anticipated it. Comparisons of the subgrade optimum moisture content with stipulated specification. So kind of SIP analysis kerna real compacted coin compacted so like it's obvious if it's not compacted there will be infiltration, there will be moisture infiltration, there will be cracking, particle formation, and all this will happen. So at some level, the certain compaction level has to be maintained. So that is with a standard or with the kind of the manual that we are really workable on a manual. So Reina analyze Kerna, how much it is different, have to standard. كما you have to standard يقولوا النجار كنا خلنا confirm نقولوا still we are trying to confirm that this subgrade optimum moisture content تخكل نيرو أين مري إلنا كنقول له like really properly compacted point يكون إلنا خنر الدنيا لأنه زبون دايزي مالك. So this is the analysis again. The sample test mean organic matter content using analysis تجارو. So organic matter, that is a clay soil analysis كبرها to so level of compaction when it is clay more you know that it will have high moisture content when it has high moisture content that compaction level has to be related to compaction level just with the soil material with the organic matter with that soil material that is with organic material in a sense like clay soil so it also shows us like there is high moisture content in that understanding, in that analysis, I think. So here, test, you can conclude that the mean is greater than 18 at the 0.50 level of significance level. So the that quantifies the certainty associated with estimating the mean from the sample data. You can be 95%. So like at 95% degree of confidence, you try to see the test analysis كيرو بحريو موزحتهم كعسى شو منت level العالي value وللوم. So 18 is around. So most of them they are here, and it shows that it has high organic content or clay content كامل. So that will be also susceptible the cracking effect on reason كامل. So what we are trying to do, we try to do the fishbone analysis, we try to do the 5Y, we try to do to try to know really the kind of the main root causes that we really kind of mark الجورنا يوم مخنياتات قانون الخول لنا لغمتنا يوم زي عملة بالسيموليشن analysis ANOVA analysis بتيست كنريهم وكرنا really side effectهم مس مانوال مس ستاندرد ليفل كانوا تعدات مثل كملو أنا ذا صيرنا رأينا يوم سجمات كمل خونو كنتصير مالتي. So that will help us like to build a confidence that those are really the problems that causes fraud cracking. Then when we go to corrective action, that will help us like to decide to correct those problems. So now we are in corrective action. The first one was like perform design of experiment DOE based on a different branches of fishbone. So what we said, صراحة خلوا زيوم مثال design problem نيرويلنا material problem نيرويلنا statistical analysis وين كنور ممكن problem سوخم لله. So now it's kind of confusion. As the design of experiment سرقي أيو سرح له سرقي أيو crack نيو. عندنا أيو سرح ويل تسرح design of experiments كايدلو نيو ليفل حدا solution نعمل لنا ماتيو. I think أوزي بس حدا industry based اللي هو production or product or like let's say in industry in manufacturing industry مرات مثل قبوا أحا like easily مرعي. So you try to have like a way of using the construction material with bread, with cement, with concrete, with blocks. مسمنا تريو تخيل نجار design of experiment كسر حلو مستقل نجار متحاس كد اللي هدو material متحاس كد اللي خواني خيالي مالتي. But it doesn't really give kind of clear insight where you are going to do, because this is a road. Second one, use improved construction technology. So are we going to do redesign and reconstruct in road or in the bridge? Yeah, it could be in the bridge, that would be fine. But 110 kilometers of asphalt again to redo and redesign, maybe, I don't know. But again, maintenance is also an issue. A main factor. Doing maintenance will improve the road. While doing that maintenance, we might satisfy with the correcting the problems basically. While we are doing maintenance, will be maybe an efficient way of doing that one. But here there is an action. Design of experiment will be conducted by the quality engineer, and this is completed. Use improved construction technology. Construction team is completed. Use accurate and precise data, hydrological and hydraulic data, analyze it, we find the temperature, we find the rainfall. So this is completed. So that means this is the climatic characteristics of the area. And this has to be the bitumen type that we are going to use. And those should be the materials. This should be the level of compaction, something like that will be. But we try to show that here in terms of corrective action, apply advanced material science and programming, select proper material suppliers, logistic. So validation of corrective action again. So what is validation of corrective action? Validating the problems of purpose. So validation, that corrective action تتقمنا له سي really يسرح ديو إلنا نرجع نقول من قدي مثلا عننا. So we have a set of corrective actions, and we validate that those corrective actions are the right measures to solve the problem, or they are really the kind of corrective actions that we need to solve that failure mode. I think in terms of clarity, I don't know here, but evaluating the pavement performance with the K parameters from the DAE. So we conducted in the corrective action, we conducted design of experiments, and we find the critical elements there. So evaluating the pavement performance with the K parameters from the DAE. Those factors will really affect us in that road cracking, that we find them while doing the design of experiments. Then implementing them, that will solve the problem of failure in this sense. So that is something we prove that corrective action is really workable. And that is the solution for that. So in terms of your bridge collapse or bridge failure, may you think something like you have already identified the root cause. You tried to already to implement a corrective action and make sure that corrective action is really valid for that aspect, and that is validation of the correct action. Maybe this is focusing on that particular problem, but later when we are thinking about the next step where we are trying to improve the problems in similar areas in a broad spectrum, that is another way, but that is basically for that particular problem, for that we are assessing, that we are conducting a root cause analysis. evaluating the precision and accuracy of data collection equipment, because we said that one thing was in the corrective action was use accurate and precise data. That's hydrology and all other data. So for that, the validation is that evaluating the precision and accuracy of the data collected equipments. How do we do that? The precision and accuracy, maybe we'll do some statistical analysis. Accuracy perception كنرجع نكون نخيل أو standard تتقيمنا كنرجع نخيل نكون مات. But I just don't want to talk much on this. The idea is we have a corrective action, and that we have to make sure that the corrective actions that we use should be valid for that particular problem in that project area, and has to be completed with a certain time frame. After تقمط له معلته كسرح النيوزي مالتي. So problem لو تنصار معلته فتح نيو corrective action ولا implement كون كل لو تنصار معلته قمة نيو then validate لك كبر كنيو. This is then you have to look into the time frame, how you come up from the beginning, setting your root cause, and then putting your corrective action, then validating that, then you will continue again for the prevention action. This prevention action is also that similar problems might happen, not only for that particular, but similar problems might happen in other areas with similar problems. Then this is a kind of producing a big manual or producing some working manual that helps us to correct such problems that might happen in other areas. So in industry-wise, it might be okay, it might be great, but for Tigray, for example, لازم نحاول نحسب ناس الجارة من شكاوى رأينايو corrective action غيرنا بعدين غيرنايو يسرح مخانو فليتنا كأول تمهرنايو document نجورو نجارات له. That in terms of manual, in terms of أسرارها بلوس أسرارها جزعنوا لهم نجارات. أو تجري كنصرح خلنا عكاتتنا ويقولون نصرح كنصرح خلنا tool رخونا يصبوا وصيت عكاتتنا كنصرح خلنا أيو preventive action كوين خلنا مالتي. So it's according to my understanding, it's something that we use to address problems that might happen in another areas, another geographic location, way of the botas, way of local imkonical, لو أنت من ساسال إنه خلص أجمعك فتح بالقل كيد الجمس أجمس حق زنا على النجار. That is the preventive action. So here formulate the FEMIA and the FEMIA documents. That's basically documents that so owner, let's say if you are trying to think about Tigray road construction, كفتنا أربعة أنا يوصل جام سرت كيرنا سرت Tigray ترجع نصرح كلامات على مقالة سرحنا نحب حاسين. So we have obviously a road. Obviously the problems are known. The you know the procedures that we do like testing, design of experiment مكاتنا, the temperature, accurate data, precise كل نجار زي تنقول النجار غيرنا هنوك على دحريو. We have that kind of working document. If this is this, do this للنجارات حبر الخيل المركوع مالتي. So kind of owner كون الخيل يا افتضح عدوة خيل خسر إحنا خيل للأكل. Then on the plan درجة most probably for us, because we are thinking that okay, after finishing this course or next year or like after 2 years we are going to construct the roads of Tigray, and then this is a kind of a plan that we might have. But this manual, this plan is based on the really practical things that we find out, and the solution is that based on the root cause that we corrected and we put them, like we validated them. So develop standard specifications of aggregate property and bitumen. America ولا يسرح ولا بقى يسرح بحريو عاوزوا له صبوا بسيموليشن بخلي له اثنين geographic condition كمثل بالخروق المركوع غيرنا أميتنا هنا متخلنا. That is a kind of preventive action كوين يقول له معناته بدليت يقول لا أنا بالمثل بتو to correct to characters يقول نستحقله نقول سرار حال document غيرنا هنا. This is all. It's just acknowledgement and celebrate. You have the reference material. I don't know. That's what it is. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
الله
Thank you
يخليكم.
very much.
Hopefully.
Thank you حدش يغني لنا ودعمي.
Thank you يغني لنا.
Thank
ذا
you.
دوكمنت شير روموت قبرنا.
Yes. جوركم يخلي هذا بتلاقي أنتم صارح لهم أبرجكم صارح لهم ما سأسأل قالوا هنا. I want you like to explore more. تعرفين يا هنا استم كانت تيمات شيري جورو نيروم قدي جورو نيروم أو after group انتنا. I was looking into it. I can share you, but also I want you also to really to has a different user معلومة هنا. I want you also to dive in and to really to create to you know عندكم creativity خم لا قدرت هتلقطع عوي منتي interest خمو علني. But I will share you right now about this all.
Okay. Thank you يغني لنا.
Any question تعليكم كأول زلالجن أب civil engineering أب dam أب you know كالي أو نامي أكلات تكونوا أب construction أب IT أو لهم أنا نجارات كمية apply كنقولون قال كم industry وزعي كم manufacturing industry وزعي تاي وسيفنا هنا هم يقول كايد يقول من بعيد لأن as I was reading for example when I was at the final topic of the course Pifemia and Difemia we had an issue in dam construction and we were talking about the Darima Dam for example in Maisauri or in Western Tigray. So dam failure Difemia of dam it's not the same as Difemia as you can do it in industry in manufacturing industry. It's completely different. Pifemia different basically. Now, no comes in plan for like like the failure mode بقلت لهم مطعم نجارات لو دام failure كقاتهم الكل نجارات whether it is sliding, cracking, overturning, whatever steps. لهم كم يجي خا occurrence severity detection analyze تقبل للتفعيل من قد يخفتوا نا industry من قد التفعيل من قد. So this is if you can any question you can ask me you can put it on our Instagram or Telegram account na حتى كلكم كله Girmay Amaniel whatever they were working this or ask them you can ask me you can ask to the team to the civil engineering team and you are welcome when you have any question anytime.
Hello, Knagar do?
Yeah, why not? Go ahead.
يا نيلنا حدش نذهب كنا صبو مبراره تعملنا مسكن ياو
نبي أنا دي سبب
أنا هيدرولوجيست هيدروليك انجينير هنا عم قد مروف سرح not information لنا بدنا تايو advice نمهابيون كلكم civil engineer تعليكم عم قد سرحوا تدليو نجار at any time معي contact مقبار تخليكم نا عم قد خسرحوا تلكم ناي إيرا design manual له ناي إيرا road design manual زبلالون ناي geometry part له ناي pavement soil and material hydrology drainage manual design specification وش منامنا لنا نساتهم بدن بغيركم understand قبروهم ياو نسو تناي إثيوبيا زلو design manual نبعلنا نتقرأي خمجرنا إنا implement خنقبرو بستفلا direction هذه ما قد خن قلت لنا hydrologist geometry لنا درجة بدن بغيركم understand مقبار مكرو any advice any manualات تدليكم structure حزي abridge crack قالت سرحوا لنا manualات تدليكم أنا forward كقبلكم يخليه any related to the road design construction method نام تدلي ونقرات forward كقبلكم يخليه any انت تدليكم أقولكم له
Okay, right. Thank you. Man كبل سمكا حاسخاي.
بينيام.
Thank you, Binyam. You are on that track, and you can be really kind of resource person for us, for everybody. Something, but I want to say something on the manuals of the Ethiopian Road Authority. The manuals that we use in Ethiopia, basically in general, not only in roads, most of the manuals. So those manuals are really, I don't think they are really based on scientific study and investigation developed manualat personally. And the professor will also tell you like that. Those manuals, there are manual manual we can English manualat real natna bota, it's not geographical characteristics, rainfall, I mean the kind of like topographic, geophysical data circumstance, material on based meteorological analysis, like hydrological analysis, develop so if you want to try to have your own manual, then at least كافتنا إثيوبيا manual كم لو خوينو خاوخ نوصل نخل equally أو كالي عالم the most advanced واحد تقوم له manual لافناتنا كنا مصور كنت يرد نخل من قد تنسعر نحش مسيليس معنا أنا let's say in road construction yeah so
so let me give you an explanation.
okay
ይቅርታ ስለዘቋረጽኩ እንታይ ዲዩ ሕዚ ኢራ ዲዛይን ማኑዋል ክንብል ተለና ያው ናይ ኢትዮጵያ ማኑዋል እዩ ወት ናይ ኢትዮጵያ ዲዛይን ማኑዋል ካብ ብሪቲሽ ካብ ናይ አሜሪካ አሽቶ ናይ ብሪቲሽ ማኑዋል አሎ ናይ ታንዛኒያ አሎ እሱ ሪፈር ይገብር እዩ ምንም ነገር ክሰርሕ ተለኻ ናይ ባዕልካ ዝኾነ ነገር የለን ዝኾነ ሪፈረንስ የድልካ እዩ ሕዚ ንምሳሌ in terms of hydrology ተሪኻ ናይ ኢራ ናይ ኢትዮጵያ ናብ ሾመንተ ሬንፎል ሪጅን ኢሉ ዲቫይድ ገይርዋ እዩ ኣብ ሾመንተ ቦታ ማለት እዩ that means ሕዚ ንምሳሌ ዓፋር ዘሎ ሬንፎል እንትንና ትግራይ ዘሎ ወይ ደግሞ ደቡብ ክልል ዘሎ እንትን በደንብ ዲቫይድ ገይሩ አስተካክልዎ አሎና ሕዚ እንታይ እዩ ክትሰርሕ ተለኻ እሱ ከም ቤዝ ገይርካ ከም ሪፈረንስ ተጠቂምካ ናብ ሳይት ስፔሲፊክ ደግሞ ሳይት ስፔሲፊክ አመሬት ወሪድካ ነታ ቦታ በትክክል እንታይ እዩ ዘድልዮ ሕዚ ቱ ሪጅናላይዝ ዝኾነ ዳታ አሎ ካው ደግሞ አመሬት ወሪድካ ደግሞ ዘድልየካ ዳታ ኮሌክት ገይርካ ኢኻ በደንብ ዲፋይን ትገብሮና አው ችግር አለ እዩ አፍቱ ዳታ ኮሌክት ምግባር ምናምን ከም ዝበልካዩ በጣም ብዙሕ ችግር አለ እዩ ንሱ ግን ከመይ ጌርና አይና ንቀርፎ ከመይ ጌርና አይና እናስተካከልና ናብቱ ጽቡቅ ነገር ምስቱ ኢንተርናሽናል ዘሎ ማኑዋላት ሪፈር ናገበርካ ከመይ ጌርና አይና ናብ ጽቡቅ ነገር ንቀይሮ ኢልና ምስራሕ ንኽእል ኢና
Yeah, I totally agree with you. That's what I'm saying. And as you, most of the courses توصلوا كلكم هذي ولا civil engineer تكونوا ولا manufacturing industrial engineer تكونوا quality engineer تكونوا whatever. زيهم practically أو إثيوبيا apply يجبر يوم زمان قد هزن خرون نحسوا لنا خمسة كونكور لنا لنا أي جبري سلا يجبر صار لنا ممارسي so لزي apply يجبر لمن قدي هو كالي advance لقنا state كنا تركوا كنا نبعلنا غيرنا جن to procedure سوخن كتل نخيله من قدي but the way how they data handle how they programming كم يجرون يفتروا نعلنا programming فترنا نعلنا simulation منعمل فترة لمن قدي مفتار اللي بتا I'm not like سويله بكاز easy كويس بس بنقول إننا قلنا هم كلهم but that's the mentality زنم أيلي ويتبي على مانوالي هلوهم قلنا يكون نعلم يمكن they just bring it somewhere and then we can bring it ourselves from them even 99 شعتنا شوية شعتنا بتي حمسة كيكونس نهزغنا مثل خير مالتي latest لخون مانوال so we should always be careful on that and even if we are using that reference as a manual also we have to be careful also because sometimes outdated you I'm the wrong that cost so how do we see the problem that they are creating problem So if, for example, our roads are being constructed right now, if they are really out of use within a short period of time, like I said, so the contractor and the client and the whatever, they were saying that they are using that manual. So it shows us really what they use. The manual is wrong. Web manual is هو يساتهم web manual كيجا يو مالتي. So خمسة نجار كل سنة لما عنا خنقيرو نخل كفتو معول عالم لو هزل تكملوا هزي ور لتكملوا أسرارها لأنه علنا خميجرنا غيرنا نتكلم نقل هزي لو النجار يتو وأنا مسرتها كل لجبا كابلي ولا خاجن نشي ونتم بوصل وناس ونكم تكلم خيرنا يا خير. Thank you بنيام and thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you حدش
Yeah, thank you حدش
Thank you.
Daniela. It was really nice presentation.
Bye. Okay, I'm gonna share you this one.
ولا بعل عندنا توني رمتهم ناتخاباتوني كذا اللي رمنا.
Oh,
Yeah.
those guys are the masters of the yeah, Kasu is here and Andinat is here also.
كاسو
Yeah.
عندنا تلو هو.
Yes, you will تعمل.
كونجو هاغري هايو بتعامل صبور
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it was
Yeah. ما كم لك عناية تبعي شعور إحنا درجة. I think unlike the others like electrical, chemical, they were like kind of hey, those guys are really at the top at that time when the professor was saying. إحنا موظفينا كو صريح نسرح كورما من جاتنا أو حجاتنا فينا قليلنا. Anyway, we try to do letter. أوزيله حاجة لرسعه هو نجار كله خلي. At some point there is an action plan. تقول له من قد لا هون plan تجبر لا بزوج جزء كابكن جزء خسر حلا كسر حيز حزير كتامتا action لا أوز حدا نزل تبلات زينا.
Gantt chart.
Exactly. You got it. So we don't have that kind of chart. But now here at the beginning level on a chart or whatever, those charts so important to you. That was a comment that I received from the professor. So you guys look the other groups and they look at the Gantt chart whatever and add to your own. Do what you can do. But yeah, that's how it is.
Thank you.
Ciao, سنة معاكم كلهم.
ماشي. احنا هنا شير لمقبار.
Okay.
أنا ريكورد شير جوركم. عندنا تدلو presentation. Okay, بكا.